Hello, everyone. Today we're going to first look at Matthew 1, 18 to 25, which is the story of Joseph finding out that Mary's pregnant. But before we get into that, I think it's important that we look at the marriage itself. It consisted of two parts. There was first the kiddushin, which is the contract and the engagement period, which was 1 year, and then the huppah, which was the wedding itself. The engagement involved the contract. It was the bride's family gave the bride price. No, they gave the dowry to Joseph to give him some money to help set the house up. And then the groom's parents gave the bride price. They gave money to the bride's family. Now, after that was settled, they signed a contract. And from that moment on, they were legally married. The only way to dissolve that marriage was through a certificate of divorce. And for 1 year, before the huppah, before the big wedding, the wife lived with her parents for 1 year. So I bring that up because Joseph, while Mary was up visiting Elizabeth, he was building a house. He was building furniture. He was getting prepared to have a wife, to begin a family. Now she comes back, and wouldn't you like to be in on that conversation? Joseph, I'm pregnant. What? I'm a child, but don't worry. I didn't commit adultery. The Holy Spirit overshadowed me, and I'm now with child. He must have thought she was crazy. You've committed adultery, now you're blaming God. Don't tell anybody, because if you tell that to anybody else, they're going to stone you. It's blasphemy. Joseph must have left that encounter shaken, betrayed, angry. All his plans had been shattered. But what I want you to think about is Joseph's mercy and forgiveness. That couldn't have been his first reaction, because legally he could have demanded that she be dragged in front of her parents' house and stoned. But he chose mercy and forgiveness. And that's what I want to challenge you with, having mercy and forgiveness. And just right now in your life, some of you, God's challenging you to have mercy and forgive someone who has hurt you, just to let that anger go and forgive them. And so I just want to challenge you with that. We all have times in our life when we've had to forgive people. And Jesus doesn't give us any choice. He told Peter 70 times 7, you forgive. Luke chapter 6, Jesus says, basically, forgive, period. The Apostle Paul in Ephesians 4 tells us, you forgive because Jesus forgave you. So the first thing that I see in this passage with Joseph is his mercy and forgiveness. Secondly, is his trust and willingness to obey God. In the middle of the night, an angel comes, tells him to take Mary, and as his wife, it says he gets up the next morning and took her. Now, they obviously didn't have a big huppah, but they had some kind of wedding, and he took her into his house, and that was an act of faith. That impresses me. Then in the second reading you had today, Joseph is visited again by an angel, and the angel tells him, quickly, get up and take Mary and Jesus and flee to Egypt. There was no procrastination. There was no argument. I don't know about you, but if the Lord woke me up in the middle of the night and told me, get up and move to the Congo, okay, Mongolia, I think I'd want to think about it for a day or two. I think I want to make sure that I really heard from God. But he obeyed immediately. And that's what I wanted to talk about. his faith and trust in God. So Joseph is an example to us of first having mercy and forgiveness, and secondly, of having faith enough to trust God, even when it's tough. And because of that, I think we can say that Joseph was a man after God's own heart. So tomorrow, Mike Van Meter, who's sitting right over there, is going to give you a great Bible study on Luke chapter 2, 1-7. Adios.